There we go.
Look at, we're together in person. It's not Zoom.
No, there's a wall here. Oh yeah, you're right.
This is plexiglass. So if anybody's wondering about 6 foot social distancing,
Yeah,
it's
totally.
plexiglass now. But Sarah Marrinan here, and I'm with Tim Erickson. And as a certified residential specialist and a certified
Mortgage
planning specialist, we wanted to come together again and just talk a little bit about the market, because we hear things like boom, crash. What are some of the other outrageous headlines?
Oh, they're all over that.
Chicken Little.
Chicken Little, and the sky is falling. That's what we're always hearing, and people are worried about interest rates going up, which they are, which house prices continue to go up, and when are house prices going to bottom out? When are they going to go back to 2008 and just everything's crashing?
When is the affordability going to get so bad that the market tanks over it?
Yeah, that's pretty much what people are wondering.
And we've been talking because we both do a lot of continuing ed and follow a lot of economists and those things, because we want to be the best advisors for our clients. We want to help them plan, and nobody has a crystal ball, but we're always trying, right, to predict the future, because we want people to make the best decisions. But what have we learned in 10, 20 years of doing this?
There's a lot of shifts.
A lot of shifts. The market is always shifting. And I tell like home buyers and sellers that in any given year, the market shifts 4 times in real estate. We have the hottest booming spring market. We usually have a summer lull. We have the fall beat the winter rush, and we have the winter serious buyer and seller season. And those seasons shift and happen every year. And this year we're just throwing a little bit of complication, but the same things are happening. We're going into a super booming spring market regardless of prices and interest rates. It's just what happens. Is it changing some people's situations? Absolutely. We were just talking, we have some examples of just clients of our own right now that we talked to them at Christmas or sometime in the last season. And what are some of those scenarios? That was back when we did the video about ways to qualify to purchase before you sell your house.
Yep. And now with interest rates going up as much as they have, maybe they can't qualify for as much as it on a non-contingent type platform. So how are they going to do that? Are they going to sell or, do something like that instead? So that's been challenging. And then, people just qualifying for not as much, period, with rates going up.
Yep.
And so it's just a little bit of a mind shift, but still they're maybe not paying as much for a price of a home. Is that about right, Sarah? So maybe people aren't paying as much over asking at times, or is that about the same?
Okay. It's so market driven right now.
Perfect.
If you want to buy a house in the week leading up to Mother's Day, it's cheaper than the week after Mother's Day, and then it'll come back down again, maybe. It's
noted.
Those weekly shifts, you know. And the same thing happens around Easter. We have a tick up and we have a tick down, and we're in such an urgency kind of society now that it makes those shifts happen like this, where it used to kind of be like this. Now we're like, high prices this week, 17 offers, no offers this week, 17 offers. And we talk about it. It's not just me feeling it. I talk to agents from all kinds of brokerages. Our brokerage talks about it every week. The biggest thing is planning, right? Okay. And that's where Tim comes in and he can say, okay, this is where you're at right now. This is where you would be at if rates went up a little bit. This is where, if we can get you into a different program, maybe the affordability is different. We lost some of those buy before you sell qualifications when the rates went up, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't move.
Absolutely. You're still going to buy or sell for your own reasons.
Right.
And that's what's going to happen for the rest of time, because you got to have somewhere to live. And last time I checked, and rent is only continuing to go up and up. And so make it specific to you. Don't buy because everybody's saying you shouldn't buy because rates are high and prices are up a little bit. Because the reality is they're not going to go way down. They're only going to continue to go up. So the next day it's going to be higher and higher.
Well, and we might see a soft week, or we might see, some big thing happen in government policy and some pressure, and then we have a dip or whatever. I think what I've been really deep in my heart advising people is what's going to get you to the next stage in your life 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now. because housing isn't a short-term situation for most people, right? Whether it's kids or retirement or whatever's driving your move, if it's kids, you don't want to move every 3 years because of kids. You are retiring. It gets harder to move, like, and expensive to move, to hire movers as you're getting older and don't do it yourself anymore. You're not going to move every 3 years. So yes, you have to look at your finances, but all of that aside, it's a goal planning situation. And part of that is, okay, what if rates were higher when we make our decision a year from now? Does that mean that we should just always be ready? And if the right thing for the next stage in life comes along, then we can just jump on it? Because how hard is that to really just come in and get a consult and kind of be back burner ready, I like to call it?
Yeah, it's there's probably a little bit of investment in time. You're probably talking an hour or two, honestly. So it's not that much. It's a little annoying because you got to dig up pay stubs or tax returns and stuff like that. But at the same point, like, your investment in time compared to maybe an investment on your phone or whatever, I mean, that's not that much time, really. So it's worth it.
Well, and I look at it like, once you go through it, let's say you sit down for an hour with Tim, now you know what to expect. And any future meeting that you have, whether it be a year down the road or even 3 years down the road, generally speaking, you're going to need the same stuff. But now it's front of your mind. And every time you get a pay stub, you can just file it away. So it's easy to access next time. When you do your taxes, you'll just remember to keep them in a nice organized folder of things I may need for a mortgage. You might get some good advice on keeping your credit score high. Like, it's just such an investment in your financial future to have that conversation. And then Tim will keep in touch.
Absolutely.
And
It's
you
good
can,
baseline.
right. And you can get on his newsletters, or you can just say, I only want a birthday card.
Yeah, right. Or don't talk to me again. But all good.
Okay, Tim.
Yes.
The point is, you're not going to spam anybody.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Sorry. We don't actually do that. You take as much information as you want. Yeah.
What I'm saying is that consult is free.
Yes.
And it sets you up on a future path.
And
for
it's specific
success.
to them, very specific to
You
you.
don't have to look at any news headlines ever again.
Yeah.
Because Tim will do that. Like I said, the birthday card thing, that was kind of a joke, but he'll send you an annual thing. Or we have a program that we can put you on together that will keep you kind of in the loop on what's happening with your current property, if you already own a property, or, you know, just kind of monthly. They're about monthly updates they can get on our program. And if you're a buyer, it just gives you some updates. And then when your friends or anybody is scaring you, your parents, your whoever, you can just say, nope, I got it. It's kind of like having a financial planner. I have somebody who's keeping me up to date on my personal scenario. And because we really want people to move for their life, not because they're feeling market pressure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because it's just going to be hard to time up everything perfectly. And we don't want people to be super disappointed when they're trying to make a move and act like they didn't do the right thing, you know. Because it's all, you're going to do it for your life choices, like Sarah said.
Yeah. And again, that's where it comes to, you don't want to go click online and just apply with something random, because you're not going to get that valuable hour consult out of that. That doesn't come from that kind of scenario. So just maybe you haven't heard of Luminate where Tim is right now, but that's because they don't do that. I mean, you might have seen.
You've maybe heard of us, but probably not. But
you might have seen the glowing ball somewhere, vaguely something, but and it's the same thing with Engel Völkers where I'm at. They're an international brand, but they're very boutique-y, right? We don't have a ton of big billboards and things like that because we have clients for life kind of mentality. So, you know, somebody is a client of ours, and then they tell their family and their friends, and then we kind of have this very close relationship that is a longer term situation. It's not just I want to sell a house or I want to buy a house. It's a let's plan this. And a lot of my clients, we maybe aren't keeping in touch, even every year, but every life change. I had some clients that I helped them buy their first house, and then they called me later and said, we have a family member who is going to need help in the future. They're stubborn about it right now. And I get that, right? And I went out and we talked about it. Actually, I have a couple like this, and we talked about it and we said, okay, well, since we know that we can't make any immediate progress, let's look at what the future looks like. And I can kind of give you some guidance, like things to do between now and this person's acceptance of the situation. And that works out good. And the same thing with every life change, marriage, divorce, whatever. Having somebody there that already knows you a little bit is so priceless.
It is, absolutely. Yeah, because they have their best interest in mind. And and they're not just trying to sell you a product, a house, a mortgage, or whatever it is. It's they actually are thinking, okay, is this suitable for you?
Right.
That's a big deal.
I was showing a house near some past clients of mine, and in some scenarios, I would have went and knocked on my client's door and been like, oh my gosh, like, I want to see it. How are you doing? But I know them. And I know that would have pushed Mrs.
Yeah, they wouldn't have
over the edge. That's not her thing, right? Just like the door knocking thing. But that's where those relationships come in, is my point. Like, I really know that for them, their privacy was a big thing, and it's still to this day is a big thing for them. And even though I know them, that would have been an invasion of privacy for them. And then I've got other clients who they'll come to all my parties and they'll do everything, and they talk about everything, and that's the personal service side of that. And Tim does that too. Like, some people need more than an hour. And some people simply want to get out of his office as fast as possible with all the information quickly, and you'll just. You
got to cater to everyone in some sort of way without losing our own way too. But
well, thanks for staying with us so long.
Thank you. It's good to see everybody.
We appreciate it.
Thanks for listening.
Have a great afternoon.
You too. See ya.